Thank you for joining me. And yesterday I got a question about, let me see, from Emily. And the question was wondering what you would be your top tips for getting people to engage with your website, and are there common mistakes you see people making? So I'd like to go ahead and answer that question. And it's kind of interesting because I got a question on that only last Friday from a counselor. I'm working with her on her website, so it's a very common question. And people want to know, how do you get people to your website? So it is true, once you get a website, it's not like people are just going to all go there and things like that. It does take a little bit of work. Okay, so as I said, once you have a website, it is true, like some people think that this is the end all and be all and that their business is just going to fly and everything. So it is true that the website can do a lot for you, but you have to put a little bit of thought into it. And what I would say, and it's really just a little bit of thought, it's just what you're going to use your website for, and how you're going to engage with your potential visitors or potential clients that come to see you. So one way, I've got a couple tips for people to go to your website a little bit more. One way is to kind of, if you have a community already, whether it's your Facebook page or a Facebook group, when you are corresponding with them, you are posting on Facebook on a regular basis, and you're interacting with them. So what you want to do is a good way to get people over to your site is if you can post blog posts. And I know you may have heard this before, and some people think, oh, well, it takes time and whatever. But the thing about blog posts is that you know your field really well, and you know it much better than other people. So what you might think is like, common sense or just is not very interesting information is going to be very useful to your potential clients. Now, I really need to take my own advice here because I probably don't do enough blog posts. But at the moment, I've been busy enough, so I just keep telling myself that excuse is I've been busy enough. But what you need to, but like one way to get more people to your website is if you can do blog posts. And I certainly do try to do this a little bit more. So if you can do a blog post on your website, and then what you do is when you publish that blog is on your website, and then you take the link to that blog and you post it on your social media page. So you post it on Facebook. And when people see that link, if it has something that they're interested in, then they will click that link and they will then come to your website. So that is a very good way to do it. And what I have seen is I just kind of think that things work together. They can work together. There's synergies in using both a website and a Facebook page. So wherever your clients are, so if most of your clients are on Facebook or if they're on Instagram or whatever, use the two together, link back and forth, and that will get people going from one place to the next. So I have one client who's doing really well, and I use her a lot as an example because she is just doing really, really well. And she does, we do posts on her posts on her website. We do blog posts and things like that, and we post it on Facebook. Now, there's also a number of posts that go on Facebook as well. But because all the posts that she puts up are useful and meaningful, she gets more clicks. And also because of the business that she's in, there's a lot of interest in what she's doing as well. So I think that there's a couple takeaways here. You need to make sure that what you're doing is going to be interesting to people. And what I would say is just talk as you do normal conversational style. So make sure it's going to be interesting, it's going to be useful. And then use the tools together to get that kind of synergy going. You can do that. Okay, now the other thing that you can do is obviously to get people to your website is like if you have your business cards, you can put a link to your website there. You can also, on the end of every email where there is the signature, you can put links to your website there and maybe even a call to action. So I think that is really, really important. Want to know more about websites? Give me a call, find out more at my website page here. So put that in your signature email. So in loads of cases where you're giving out promotional material or whatever, put in your website address. And what you want to be thinking about with all of those things is providing value, providing information to potential clients that will be useful. And if they think it's useful, then they'll want more information, okay, and then put your website address there. So that's the sort of the main ways that I can think of. The other thing is, and this probably wouldn't be as common, but I think it's going to be more common going forward in the future, is that you can update your website. I hate to say this, but you can. Now, I wouldn't recommend this for everybody, because for like if you have for people, if they're not familiar with WordPress, if you have WordPress, it's a little bit more difficult to update. But a lot of the newer website building tools make it very, very easy to do updates. And I have some clients where we have put in sliders, and doing an update is literally just changing an image. It is so easy. And the reason why that would be beneficial is because when people come to your website, it's like going to a shop on the street. If you see the store window is the same all the time, you're just going to start walking by it. But if you see something new, then people are going to take a fresh look at at your site. And so what we do with some of the clients that I have, because we use a tool that is just so incredibly easy to update things, is that we can change the slider, maybe not all the time, but maybe once a quarter, once every 3 or 4 months. And this really doesn't cost anything to actually do if you have the right tools. And what it does is that when people do come to your site, they'll be saying, oh yeah, they're going to take a fresh look at it. There's like more information there. And in the past, people used to use the blog for that. But now when people go to a site, they kind of expect, oh, that's the blog. So unless they're interested in the blog itself, they're not really going to look at the rest of your website. But that is one way to get people to your website. If you have like training events or courses or things like that, you can get them to your website. Just put on your website address where you give more information. And again, that might point to a blog. But use all the different tools that you have. And really, the website is a tool in your marketing toolkit. It is one tool. It is a big tool, and it can help you in many, many ways. But use them to see what tools that you can use to get the information out, to provide value value to your potential clients, and to engage with them. And the one thing that I would say, like in terms of when you are doing this, the one thing to think about is to always think of flow. This is what I think of is flow. So if I were to think of some of the mistakes that some people make, they might make a blog post or something like that, or even on their website. People get there, but there's no flow. They get to a point and it just ends. And the person's thinking, well, thank you for that lovely information. Goodbye. So what you need to be thinking is, after you've provided useful information to them, then what you want to do is you want to say, by the way, I do this. I help people with this all the time. Give me a call. Let's see what we can do for you. Okay? So the flow then, the next thing that they're thinking about is give you a call. So don't forget that call to action. And I always kind of think of it as flow. So when you post something on Facebook, if it's linking back to your website, if they click on the website, they're going to read the information there. Then where do they go? Always think about the flow. And when you think about the flow or your customer's journey, you're going to be much more effective in the things that you do. So that's all I kind of wanted to say today. I hope that has been useful, maybe a little bit long-winded, but I hope it's been useful. I really enjoy getting your questions. So if there's anything that I can help you with, do let me know, and I hope this has been useful. And thanks so much for tuning in, and we'll talk to you soon. Okay, take care. Bye-bye.